Hey, Gotham Geek Girl here, and it's time for another episode of Tea with Triple G, your source for all things geek, where we talk hot takes, speaking facts, unpopular opinions, and the occasional guest interview. Super excited to be joined by Hector Elizondo. You may know him from Pretty Woman, Chicago Hope. He's a recipient of an Obie Award, a Primetime Emmy Award, 2 Alma Awards. He also received nominations for a Drama Desk Award, a Golden Globe, a Satellite, and 5 Screen Actors Guild. So he reprises his role of Dr. Neven Bell from the series, and he's most noted for portraying Philip Waters in CBS's Chicago Hope. He's also in Last Man Standing. You'll know him from The Taking of Pelham 123, American Gigolo, Pretty Woman, Beverly Hills Cop 3, The Princess Diaries, and many more. Super excited to have him join as we talk about Peacock's upcoming original movie, Monk movie, Mr. Monk's Last Case, a Monk movie, which is a continuation of the critically acclaimed fan favorite comedy series, premiering December 8th. So he's returning to the role of Dr. Neven Bell, which is Adrian Monk's therapist. Also returning, of course, is Tony Shalhoub. Elon Zando is going to be returning, and we're going to talk about how, he brought the character, how he's coming back, and how he evolved over so many years. That this series, it's been over 12 years, and it's a new, fresh installment of Monk. The world has changed mightily in those intervening years, and Monk 2023 reflects the changing world. So let's get right into it. I have Hector on the phone. We were just briefly talking about his, excitement coming back to the series, and here we go.
My goodness, man, when Tony told me, how long was it? 14 years? What is it? We did this 3 years ago.
Oh, that's how it feels.
Talk about time non-existent. My goodness. La vida es sueño, as Calderon said. Life is a dream. No kidding, that was quite a dream. But it's lovely to see the original cast back, and the director, Randy. It's just, it was a good homecoming. And I love Toronto, so all things good. And it brought me out of retirement just for Tony.
Aww.
So he's a dear heart. I take a bullet for him. He's one of the best. He's a wonderful example of someone in our business who is all encompassing. In other words, he makes everything better. Makes the environment better. Makes people want to work. And he's not only very bright, of course, talented. Everybody has talent, but he has wonderful talent. But the thing is, he's a good human being. So that's the sauce on the meal. So Tony, Mr. Shalhoub is an all-around person. There you have it. Next case.
I guess, how has it been returning to the series after so long? Like, how do you think Dr. Neven has evolved after all these years?
Well, he's me, so I've evolved, older, losing a step, more than a step, and he's still working. Now, of course, it's revealed in the scene that, well, I'm not going to say it's revealed. This is a particular point in his life that Monk didn't know about. You will see. So, evolving to the point where his life has taken a big turn, just as the Monk characters have, and that's revealed in the scene. So there you have it.
And
age and time either makes you a better person or just wears you out and makes you cynical. But I don't think either of us are cynical. At least as a character, anyway. I tend to get a little down at the human condition, and if you pay attention, if you're serious, then you're not, or you have to laugh. So, and by the way, the wonderful thing about this character that he creates, that Tony creates, and that the Monk people have created, is the OCD factor. It brings to life, it brings to attention, spotlight on something very, very important, and it humanizes it all. It's a big boost for people who have this condition, and still able to function. That's the secret. Here's the man who functions beautifully, as long as he has loving friends around him to guide him and help him along the way. So it doesn't take much. So you're going to lose if you don't pay attention to folks like that. Just give them a little help. You may lose a very good citizen in the long run. So it's a wonderful thing that's what makes Monk the character. There you have it.
Yeah, Dr. Bell's a psychiatric genius. That's how Natalie describes him. He has like smart techniques and all these great methods. And he really like got Monk to warm up.
what he did, but it's because of due to empathy and humor. I think Dr. Bell, I'd like to think, that's so I've worked him in, is he has the ability that's one of the most important for a human being, not to take themselves seriously. That's the trick. If you take yourself too seriously, you're missing the boat. It's not about you. So he focuses on finding a way of getting people to talk and relax and let them come to their own conclusions. So essentially, it's a way of guiding people to help them fix themselves, or at least make it possible for them to function. So yes, I like the character. Not the first time I've done that character, but certainly a delight when I'm working with someone like Mr. Talou. That's the special icing on the cake for me.
How is it working with him as like a scene partner?
Well, I just said he's wonderful. It's like playing ping pong with a it's ping. You don't have to be concerned about it. In the acting in the acting craft, it makes things much easier, and you get to the bottom of the scene. You get to what the scene is about. If you don't have to be concerned for the other actor, by that I mean if you don't have to be concerned that they're struggling or having a problem with the script or the scene, so you just are relaxed enough to do the scene, and that's what Tony gives you. You don't have to be concerned about him. He's always there. He's top. He's a delight to work with. There you have it. I can't speak highly enough about him, and the rest of the cast. Anyway, they're all delightful.
Did it feel natural, like all of you just coming back together like a big family, like everything just went smoothly like how it was before?
It was scary natural.
Scary.
That's why I said, didn't we do this 3 years ago? Tony said, 14 years ago. No, you're kidding me. That's how natural it was.
Felt like yesterday.
It was like getting into a nice old pair of slippers. That's it. On a cold winter morning, that's what it was. When you get an experience like that, you tend to want to go back and do it. Let's see how this goes. We'll see what's in the future of a monk.
And what do you think is gonna surprise people about this being a movie this time, and how it's gonna like bring something new to the story?
Well, as I said, I thought it's going to be a wonderful introduction to many people who don't know about it. It's a perfect way to get to know this character and his world. It's a full-length experience, which we didn't. Well, we got a pretty good experience during the series, but this is better. You get to flesh it out a little more, and there's a little payoff, and always humor. Always humor without any slapstick or stereotypical. Not at the expense of anyone, let's put it that way. There are no stereotypical characters here. So there you go. That's why I slept in Toronto for this. Do this wonderful piece. I'm so happy I did it.
Oh.
I hope people love it.
Definitely fun. And if you could play another character in the show, who would it be?
Play another character?
Yeah.
I used to be able, until Pretty Woman, of course, I used to have a great deal of fun playing bad guys. Not all the time, but once in a while. And they were very successful because it's something I happened to do very well. The camera liked it, which is how you play a bad guy. You don't play him like a stereotype. You don't play a bad guy like he thinks he's a bad guy. He or she does not think he's a bad guy. None of the bad people think they're bad people. See, they're victims that have their own point of view. But I would love to play some kind of bad guy. That would be a wonderful change for me. And no, that sort of stopped with Pretty Woman. After that, I became everybody's good guy. Not as interesting anymore. All right, come on, enough already.
Would you return to voice work like Bane? Bane is a villain.
Yes, sure. There you go. Villain. Any actor will tell you it's more fun to play the villain. A lot more fun, especially, and this is important, if the camera likes you. The camera picks up something ephemeral. You don't have to be beautiful or handsome. It's just something about you. The eyes. It's ontological. It just has nothing to do with you. So you have to know camera. if you realize that the camera likes you, then you could play villains the rest of your life, and the camera will, and the people will accept it because they'll come and watch you do that. In the past, of course, there have been dozens of people who've made careers out of playing villains. And by the way, most people who play villains are just the nicest people in the world. Because it works out that way. Don't know why. Well, I do know why, but that's another conversation. It's just something about when you discover that the camera likes you, you can be doing the worst things in the world and people will still accept it. There you go. So it's an ephemeral technical thing. It has nothing to do with your soul or your heart. But you do have to know what the camera does, what it's picking up, what it's revealing. That's why it's so interesting to play villains. Especially if you don't take yourself seriously doing it. There you go.
Let's have fun with it.
maybe come out of retirement, maybe a good villain.
Come back, do another Batman.
Good guy. Another villain. Gary Marshall took care of that for me. That's another dear friend. He and Norman were very important in my life. The same place, the same time, the same generation, so we had a lot in common. We experienced a lot of the same history in New York during the 60s, 70s, 80s. Very yeasty, fertile time. People tried to uncover what America was about. And each had their different areas. And Monk, of course, is in that vein. Monk is something that makes you laugh and educates you at the same time. That's the best thing you can solve for.
And do you have any, like, I guess, favorite lines of dialogue or favorite moments from the movie we could talk about?
The moment is beautiful. The moment when we're both crying together.
Oh.
It's a priceless thing. It happens little by little, and you realize how close and how much the doctor cares for him. That was a special moment that you don't everybody. Especially on the month after that, as he's wiping his tears with his tissue, he says, "This can't be healthy." That's a moment. That's a moment that's very subtle and will go by to people who don't really pay attention. But that was our favorite moment. Just terrific moment.
Oh.
The movie has been received well. Sure.
Yes, it'll be out shortly. Hopefully it does.
Very
like you
good.
said, put some smile on people's faces.
Yes, there you go. I know it does. I can hear you smiling right now. Are you calling from New York?
Yes, New York, and you're from New York too, Boricua.
No, I think
a little bit. I understand a little bit, but
that's enough. Do you read?
Yes.
We got back in the day, a little before, maybe before your dad was born, perhaps.
Yeah, my grandpa was born in Brooklyn.
There you go. All right. There you go. So there's a borough. Wonderful artists who come out of Brooklyn, also the Bronx.
Yes.
Something about the air in the Bronx that creates great artists, writers, and dancers, designers. Who knows? Has to be in the water. Yeah, but I'm a New York product, born and bred, way before the war.
A lot of rich history.
Yeah, a lot of history. So I was that. It came at a time, and Tony will probably remember this. Some people will go younger, well, 20 years. That the theater was so important. And that's where you could learn your craft. Repertory theater, off Broadway. And we had great writers represented. If you looked at the theater list in the 50s, 60s, you couldn't believe it in the New York Times. My God, you had to link them from Shakespeare to Neil Simon comedies to great musicals, everything in between. It was a serious time of great revelation in the theater. So that was something that gave me a big chance. That's where I was trained. That's where I honed my skills. So I was ready. And myself and my contemporaries, like Rita Moreno, there weren't many of us, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 or 4 or 5, that's it.
Paved the way.
And anybody knew about them. There were others, in the trenches, but we took the shots. And I'm glad we came through at that time. Because of the training you had to have. And neither of us wanted to be big. I didn't want to be a big star. I just wanted to be an intermediary between author and audience. I wanted to do good playwrights. The writing, the story. It's all about telling the story about being human. And that's what good playwriting is about.
And you went to LaGuardia, right?
What?
You went to LaGuardia, right?
LaGuardia? No, I went to Commerce High School.
Commerce. Yeah, the theater school.
No, I went to music in our high school, and I went to the actor studio. I studied with the Stella Adler School with Mario Sletti, Stella Adler School. So and my training mostly came from, thank goodness, from repertory theater in Boston, theater company in Boston. Wonderful people, including people like Al Pacino, who just did the role. And there was a whole thing. Larry Bregman, a bunch of wonderful folks, and struggling making $65, $70 a week.
Wow.
Doing 2 shows a day, rehearsing 1 show a day, and doing another one at night. And that's what repertory is in rep. And you did a whole season like that in the cold Boston, my dear.
Wow.
Get some shots out. And by the time and of course the camera is completely different technique, but you're used to working hard and learning the story, learning the dialogue without interruption. That's what theater is. That's why theater is so scary and dangerous. What happens if I make a mistake? Well, guess what? You're going to have to get out of it. You can't stop and say, wait, can we do another take?
No editing.
There you are. You're naked up there. Oops, now where? You're helpless. But with the help of a good playwright, that's your great map. That's your great guide. Anyway, speaking of which, yo tengo que acabar mi cafecito. I've got to have my little coffee now.
Oh, yeah. I just made mine too, Bustelo.
The cafecito is very important for us.
Oh, yes.
So, my dear, I hope it's all very successful with Monk and everyone that's involved in it.
Yes, it was such a pleasure. I remember watching Princess Diaries, and you were like one of the standouts.
Yes,
when I was young.
I totally agree.
We're talking about Princess Diaries 3, but they better do it soon before Julie and I turn to dust.
Oh my God!
Please return.
Please do.
They've been talking about that for last year. If Annie Hathaway gets a break in her busy schedule, but she wants it done.
Yes, I know.
She wanted it done while Gary Marshall was alive. She wanted to do it with Gary, of course. But we're still talking about it.
Please
I'll come out of retirement for that, and so will Julie,
Yay.
Please do.
Hector, this was amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about the movie, and we'll be in touch. I really appreciate you both connecting today.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And make sure to check out the Monk movie, which premieres December 8th, as Monk returns to solve one last very personal case involving his beloved stepdaughter Molly, a journalist preparing for her wedding. Check it out now, streaming on Peacock.